Hi guys, and welcome back. Today we're doing the third look this week using the Serenity palette from Cosmic Brushes. This is part of my Week Of series where I do an entire week of uploads using only one eyeshadow palette. That playlist will be linked down below in the description box along with lots of other things, including the looks from earlier in this week. If you're interested in seeing that, don't go anywhere. If you're new here, hello, my name is Rachel. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom who loves to play with colorful eyeshadow. So if that's your thing, you're in the right spot. I upload many videos every week that are all eyeshadow related. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss new uploads. And without further ado, let's get rolling with this eyeshadow look because it might be my favorite so far. So let's get rolling with look number 3 using the Serenity palette. Please excuse the croak in my voice. It's allergy season and this is just where we are. Also my hair, this is where we are. I'm going to prime my eyes using the Glamlight Icing Primer and we'll zoom in and get started. I don't really have a very firm plan for today's look. I honestly want to do an all matte look. However, because of my little Cosmic Brushes shimmer journey, I also want to use the shimmers so that I can tell you guys how they're performing. So I'm going to start with all matte and then maybe I'll throw a shimmer on top. With a medium blending brush, I'm starting with the shade Earth. This is the brown matte in the palette, and I'm going to put this on my outer corner. Let me update you on how the previous video went with the shimmers. Honestly, every time I've used this palette, I get creasing with the shimmers, and it surprises me a lot because I haven't had that problem with any palettes from any brand since I started using the Glamlight Primer, and all of a sudden this brand is making me crease, and I'm not really sure what to do about that. So my experiment this week has been to use NYX Glitter Primer and then apply the shimmers with my finger and see if that gives them more staying power. In my first video, I did still get creasing. The primer helped, but not completely. And in the second video, which was a lot of a darker look, more smoky eye, and I put the shimmer on top of like the black matte. Again, the NYX Glitter Primer did help, but again, I still got creasing. So that's the update on last look. And the creasing took a little bit longer to come in. I think it was probably like around 3 to 4 hours where the creasing kicks in, even using the NYX Glitter Primer, which is certainly more time than if I hadn't used the primer and the shimmers crease within the first 30 to 60 minutes. However, it's still creasing and I don't want that. So I am tempted to use the shimmers in today's look just so that I can give you my final thoughts on them. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll go all matte today and do shimmers in a fourth look. I haven't decided. I'm going to blend this out with the shade Oasis. This is a smaller and pinched blending brush, but it's still pretty fluffy. Oasis, I'm going to lay down on the edge of the brown and just soften and bring in a new color. It's really bumming me out, honestly. I think the color story of this palette is so pretty and interesting, and I love the packaging, and I think the mattes are amazing. But if I can't get the shimmers to work for me, I have so many other palettes that give me a more satisfying result long term, which also have good mattes and interesting color stories. If I can't get these Cosmic Brushes shimmers to cooperate the way that I want them to, I don't think I'm going to keep the palette. I'll probably sell it, which fortunately shouldn't be an issue. It's often like out of stock because it's such a popular palette, but it might just not be the right one for me. We'll see. With a denser brush that's about the same size as that blending brush I used, maybe a little bit bigger, definitely denser, I want the shade Spring. This is a minty green, and I'm going to start this in my inner corner on the lid space. I'm tempted to use the Sorbet shade as well, which is more of a neon acid green, but that might be a little bit too bright for what I'm going for today. I'm not sure. I'm just going to lay Spring all over the rest of the lid and go from there. I wanted to stay in this little trio. They felt grounded to me, but still interesting. So, I don't know. I'll lay it down and see what I'm feeling. I would love it if you guys tell me in the comments if you have this palette, or if you have Royal Rose, or if you bought the new Muse palette. Any palettes from Cosmic Brushes. And let me know if you are having trouble with the shimmers. I haven't heard anybody at all mention this problem. And creasing is not an uncommon problem if you have oily lids or if you have hooded eyes. It's pretty standard problem that a lot of people have. And because this palette is so hyped and so viral, I really expect to hear that sort of feedback from other people if they're having the issue that I'm having, but I haven't heard word one from anybody about creasing with this formula. So maybe it's just me. Is it just me? Back into the brown with the brush that I used before. I'm laying down another layer on top. I do want to keep it more grounded and bring in some more depth. And the mattes in this palette are so good that even that light green has concealed a little bit of the brown, and I want to bring it back in. I am really liking how this is looking, and I'm liking that it's all matte. I might avoid the shimmers today, just because I don't feel like babysitting my eye look. Honestly, my plan for the 4th video for this week of Serenity is to do like a purple halo eye with one of the shimmers in the center. So that would give me one more time to use the shimmers within this week's series, and then I can give you my final thoughts at the end of that video. I don't know that I want to use any shimmers today. I'm going to do the lower lash line and decide. This is a small blending brush. First, I'm taking the shade Sorbet, and I will take that and put that at the inner corner of the lower lash line and kind of drag it out. I just love these bright neon-y colors. If you guys saw my video where I was introducing you to new palettes in my collection, most of which were given to me by kind subscribers, then you know that I have a couple of palettes that have much brighter colors in them, a little bit more on the neon side of things, and I just think they're so fun. I love how bright they are and really eye-catching. I have a shade like this in a few palettes. My Oceanic and Flare from Ace Beauté both have like an acid green sort of shade, and it's just a lot of fun. I'm now going to take this very same brush. I'm not going to bother color switching it because I'm going into something similar and they're going to blend together nicely. The shade is called Moss, and I'll put that on the rest of the lower lash line up to the end. I love the contrast and the dynamic of combining warm and cool tones. This look started out really warm with the brown and the orange. Then it went cool with this minty green, and now we're back into more warm tones with these strange greens on the lower lash line. But I think it's a lot of fun. It's just kind of dynamic and unexpected, which I really like. I guess I'll take a shimmer just to add a pop of brightness to the inner corner with this same brush, because why not? I'll grab the shade Opal. This is that white, pink, green, iridescent sort of shade, and after it's loaded on my brush, I'll spray it. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? But if it creases, it's in such a small space, I won't really be able to look for creasing. It's really pulling out the greens now, isn't it, though? That's beautiful inner corner highlight. I suppose there's always the chance that I would keep the palette just for the mattes. There are only 6 shimmers in this palette, to be truthful. This is the Opal shade, and it's a good topper, and it's a multi-chrome. So I suppose that even if I wasn't happy with the palette, I would possibly keep it just for the mattes, because the mattes perform so beautifully and it's a great color story. I don't have to use the shimmers. For a palette of this size with only 6 shimmers, which honestly is my preference to have it more matte heavy, I might be happy to keep it and just dip into other brands for shimmers. The price point was good. The color story is great. The mattes are amazing. I don't know. We'll see. I am going to choose something for the waterline and obviously go off camera, catch up the other side. I'll be back in just a second and we'll close out this video. So here's the final result. I think it's really lovely. Honestly, I'm very much enjoying this all matte look with just a little bit of brightness in the corner with a shimmer. To finish off the look, I used this shade from Udin's Eye for the waterline. This is number 2. It's a beautiful, bright, orangey, vermilion sort of color. On my lips, I'm wearing first the glowing, well, both of these are from ColourPop. I've got the glowing lip in the shade Desert Aura, and then I topped it with Hot Spark Lip Oil, so they're both kind of orangey. And I have some mascara. I didn't line my eyes with anything else. I didn't put any other face product on, like blush or a highlighter or bronzer. I did a little bit of concealer and setting powder under my eyes, but that's it. That's the whole look. I think it's really lovely. I am loving the contrast between warm and cool tones. I adore that moss shade, which I put on the lower lash line in the outer corner. And I love how it's playing off of the vibrance of the more neon-y acid green in the inner corner. Super pretty. That opal shade is a beautiful inner corner highlight, especially if you spray it a little bit. I don't know. I'm on the fence about what to do with this palette. I plan on doing one more look this week and using the shimmer, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll make my decision after that. Maybe I'll make my decision based off of if I feel the urge to use the palette again. I need to close out this video because I'm racing the sun. It's going to come up in a minute and make me all yellow. So thank you so much for being here and for hanging out with me, for clicking on my channel. I really hope you enjoyed it. Remember to check the description box for the other videos this week using the Serenity palette. I think I have a Cosmic Brushes playlist, which I'll link. I'll link the week of playlist. All of that information, as well as everything I'm wearing and more, is in the description box. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.